Good morning, and these are your news updates for today. The deputy chairman of the African Union Commission on Thursday condemned the overthrow of the administration in Burkina Faso and said the AU had demanded that the military leaders immediately return power to the transitional government. Erastus Mwencha said the AU Peace and Security Council would meet soon to review the situation in Burkina Faso and decide the organization's next line of action. The overthrow of the government Wednesday came less than 3 weeks before the scheduled general election on October 11th. The election is aimed at ushering in a new democratically elected leadership in the West African country. The AU has often stated it is opposed to the forceful or unconstitutional seizure of power. We have demanded that the military junta that now has officially announced that is a coup hand over power to the transitional authority that they're the president, the prime minister, and other relevant authorities. Any government that is unconstitutional is automatically condemned because we believe in the rule of law that any change of power must follow the constitutional process. It looks like in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, that Anthony Big Tony Moscatiello was sentenced Thursday to life in prison without parole for the mob-connected 2001 slaying of prominent South Florida businessman. Broward County Circuit Judge Holmes imposed a sentence after a jury rejected the death sentence sought by prosecutors following more than 3 hours of deliberation. Holmes said she had little choice but to follow the jury's advice. Moscatiello, 76, showed no reaction when the jury's decision was announced. He was convicted in July of murder and murder conspiracy in the fatal shooting of Constantino's Gus Boulis during a dispute over lucrative gambling ships. Trial evidence showed Boulis was shot by a hitman hired by Moscatiello, a reputed member of New York Gambino crime family once headed by the Teflon Don John Gotti. Just before he was sentenced, however, Moscatiello made a short statement to Holmes denying any role in the killing and contending that the hitman identified by prosecutors is not the actual killer. Moscatiello turned in the courtroom to address Boulis' nephew Spironeos. "I'm truly sorry about what happened to Gus, but I assure you it had nothing to do with it," he said. A Florida woman was arrested Tuesday night after she tried to stab a deputy with a large sword or machete inside a mobile home filled with thousands of other bladed weapons, authorities said. The Hernando County Sheriff's Office said in a news release that deputies went to Nicole Dakima's Brooksville home to assist probation and parole officers who were trying to issue felony arrest warrants at around 10 p.m. Dakima was seen looking at law enforcement officers through a broken window in her home but refused to come out and disappeared back into the residence, according to a news release. Once other deputies arrived, officers forced their way into the home and were met by Dakima, who had a large sword of machete in her hand, according to the release. She tried to stab one of the deputies and missed his face by inches. The Tampa Tribune reports authorities surrounded Dakima after she was seen hiding behind a blanket. Officers said they fired a beanbag at her, but it had no effect. The newspaper reports Dakima fled into a room filled with about 500 bladed weapons. Authorities noticed there was other rooms filled with similar weapons and another room that contained an altar covered in pentagrams, according to the Tampa Tribune. Authorities said Dakima advanced toward deputies armed with several more weapons, and she was shot with another beanbag after she refused to drop them. After retreating back into a hiding spot again, Dakima emerged and was ordered to show her hands and turn around. Dakima reportedly turned as if she was going to go back in the home and subsequently shot with a stun gun. The Tribune reports Dakima was taken to the Hernando County Detention Center where she was being held without bond. And there you go, folks. Those are your news updates for Friday. You guys have a wonderful weekend. I hope to come back and see you Monday.